I want to go across first and center stage tonight. Former Chief Election Commissioner S.Y. Qureshi is joining us on our broadcast. Mr. Qureshi, you're advocating a complete ban on opinion polls. But it can be argued that even if there are a few rotten apples, it doesn't mean you need to destroy the orchard. Would there not be a more compelling case for greater oversight, an independent regulator, possibly for more transparency? Why is it that you advocate, Mr. Qureshi, an outright ban on opinion polls, sir?
Yeah, Rahul, let me clarify that I, for one, do not want a blanket ban. In fact, we feel opinion poll is a good idea. Even Election Commission conducts its own opinion polls, knowledge, attitude, behavior, practice survey. 22 states which went to poll in 3 years. Everywhere we did these opinion polls, but for our own information and benefit, not to deceive and cheat anyone. Here the question here is whether if they are meant to deceive people, then they are interfering with the election process and they are unduly influencing the voter. That is what our objection is, and I entirely agree with you that it has to be regulated by an independent regulator. An election commission would not like to be a regulator for it, but let there be an independent regulator as we have in England and we have in other countries also.
You're saying that there must be an independent regulator. I want to go across also to Shiv Viswanathan. He's part of the Headlines Today team for these general elections. And Shiv Viswanathan, at a time when questions are being asked of opinion polls, pollsters, what is it that you make of the charges that are being leveled? Some people are asking for an outright ban on opinion polls. That's what the Election Commission also has been pushing for. That's what the Congress is demanding. Do you think that's the way to go? Or do you believe that greater transparency, oversight and a possible regulator is the way forward for opinion polls?
See, I think this is a serious question. First, let me say that all the charges should be examined, investigated and clarified. Transparency and honesty is necessary for a democracy. But here I must stop agreeing with the Election Commission. I think it's very important to understand the value of these tools, understand the kind of democratic games they allow one to play. They are a part of public space today. To blame, say, because they are being adulterated by a small group doesn't mean you have to ban them. These are very important tools. These are sociological devices. And I think in a democracy, the very openness of democracy demands that you keep these tools in play. Standardize them, add quality, add integrity, but make sure they're available as a part of the democratic imagination.
Standardize them, add quality, but they must be a part of the democratic imagination. Mr. Qureshi, why is it then that the Election Commission, a body that you represented not so long while ago, why is it that the Election Commission is demanding an outright ban? Do you not think that space must be created? Of course, action must be taken. If there has been an error, then stringent action must be taken. But why is it that we are taking it to an extreme and demanding an outright ban instead of allowing for a corrective mechanism to come into play?
Yes. Rahul, it is not the Election Commission which thought of a ban on opinion poll. Since 1997, political parties have been coming to Election Commission. In 97, all political parties unanimously demanded that there should be a ban. Then using Article 324, Election Commission framed guidelines which were questioned in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court asked, how will you enforce them in the absence of a law? So we withdrew the guidelines and we went back to the government to bring a law. In 2007 or 8, political parties came to us again, all of them again without exception. They demanded the ban. We sent it back to the government that it is for you to impose the ban because it requires amendment to the Representation of People Act, and that can only be done by Parliament on the initiative of the government. So then at that point they banned exit polls but did not ban the opinion polls. Immediately thereafter, political parties came back to us, at least the ones who were victim of this, they were wanting the ban. Then we had to tell them, look, you demanded ban, we wrote to you, and then when it came to passing it in Parliament, you let yourself down and let us down. In 2013, last year, the third time all political parties were consulted, this time by correspondence, and 14 out of 15 supported a ban. So in any case, having responded to the demand of the political parties, we still feel that there should be a regulator, just like Election Commission is a regulator, an independent regulator trusted by everybody. So let there be a regulator, because there are two things there. One, the scientific basis, the methodology and sampling size. The other is the integrity issue. If they are dishonest in the first place, and it is not one or two rogue organizations, 11, for God's sake, 11 of them, that probably will be the majority of them. So obviously the rot is much deeper than we had even imagined.
I want to go across to Piyush Goyal representing the BJP tonight, because the charge that is being levelled most aggressively by the Aam Aadmi Party, Piyush, is against the BJP. The insinuation, or the direct charge in fact, is that it is the BJP that is getting all these polls rigged to favour Narendra Modi, to create this whole, a whole environment where people start believing Modi is winning and therefore would vote for him in greater numbers than they would otherwise. How do you respond to this charge by the Aam Aadmi Party?
Well, I think just because some of these persons from the Aam Aadmi Party make any allegations doesn't prove them right. The number of people, the lakhs and lakhs of people coming morning, afternoon, evening to each rally of Mr. Narendra Modi are not people who are coming there because the opinion polls say so. The opinion polls say so because those people are coming there. I think it is like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. While these same opinion polls were showing the Aam Aadmi Party doing very well, picking up traction, they were the darling of the Aam Aadmi Party. And when they have shown how the people have reacted to their anarchic ways and to their absolutely unconstitutional, poor quality of governance that they showed us in the few days that they were there, and the unethical practices of the Aam Aadmi Party, now they have suddenly started criticizing opinion polls. I think that's political opportunism at its worst. As regards Mr. Qureshi's comments, I would just like to join issue that there is a constitutional provision 19(2) under which only reasonable restrictions can be imposed on freedom of expression, and those reasonable restrictions have been enunciated in the constitution itself. With due respect to him, he has alluded to some discussions in 7(8). I am not aware of it, and my party was not a party to it. He has said all political parties.
Is that correct, Mr. Qureshi? Because you are being challenged. You said that the BJP also joined other parties in supporting a ban on opinion polls. Piyush Goyal contests that.
1997 and subsequently 2007 or 8, whichever, because there were two all-party consultations in Election Commission, and on both those occasions, all political parties across the board demanded the ban. Only this time, when they were asked to write their opinion, 14 out of 15 supported the ban.
14 out of 15 parties supported the ban, and we're also seeing opinion polls become a target. But now that serious charges have been levelled, Shiv Vishwanathan, what's the way forward? The question really is, if there are charges being levelled, a way must be found so that people's credibility and respect for opinion polls remains, and that credibility does not come under question. Shiv Vishwanathan.
Yeah, first, let's take it. This kind of poll is a playful tool. It's a method. It's a method to increase the imagination of democracy. It's a method to allow people to look at the possibilities. The second point I want to emphasize is, while integrity is important, political parties can't decide to ban a tool. I think it is up to a generation of citizens. It is up to the democratic imagination and to the citizens of India to decide this. It is not for parties to ban. You see, banning has become a very easy device in India. Any crisis, any issue, any scandal, you want to ban the thing. You want to make sure it doesn't appear. I don't think this is the mature approach to politics. I'm sorry. As a sociological tool, it can easily be improved. You can build in counterfactuals, and you can in fact make it more playful, more transparent. Because it's scientific doesn't mean it is 100% exact. It is an imaginary. Understand the tool, use it carefully, use it democratically. I think it has a powerful...
Mr. Qureshi, when you say that polls must be banned, when the current election commission says polls must be banned, there is an inherent assumption that polls impact viewer behavior, that because people are putting out polls, because some of those polls, and I must say once again that the sting operation doesn't in any way show that any of the polls carried by any of the channels was actually fixed, but it creates doubt by indicating that there could be manipulation happening. But there is no evidence to show that opinion polls actually swing voter preferences. Do you think, Mr. Qureshi, that there is direct evidence to demonstrate that because people put out opinion polls, they sway the way voters will decide to cast their mandate, Mr. Qureshi?
You know, Rahul, if opinion polls were not going to influence public opinion, political parties who commission them will not be spending lakhs and crores to go. They don't commission those polls for your entertainment. They only do it for swaying the public opinion. And if one vote is swayed because of disinformation, one vote, because I have heard this many times in the debate, that it doesn't make a significant difference. My question is, what is the significant difference? If one vote goes this way to that way and the person loses? We have in the Union Cabinet today one minister who lost by one vote. He would have been probably Chief Minister of Rajasthan 5 years ago. Ask him.
No, but there is no proof,
vote,
Mr. Qureshi, to demonstrate that that one vote was swayed because of an opinion poll.
But I'm arguing. Otherwise, why will people be spending crores of rupees on an opinion poll for what purpose? Okay, I conduct an opinion poll for my information, so that I apply correctives. Why will I do it for publicizing only so that public gets swayed?
No, but this
Otherwise,
is
why will they be spending
a
crores?
sociological tool. This is an electoral tool, as Shiv Vishwanathan argues, for people to know what the mood is. It's not the only or
Absolutely.
deciding tool, it's one of the tools amongst a whole host of tools that are available in the public domain, Mr. Qureshi.
Certainly, if there is honesty, if the purpose is cheating, then of course freedom of expression and all these things become irrelevant.
There may be some IAS officers, Mr. Qureshi, who may be dishonest. Does that mean that you shut down the IAS? There may be some foreign service officers who are dishonest. Just because the few pollsters are dishonest, does it mean you shut down polling? That's the question that will be asked, Mr. Qureshi.
Let me make it very clear that if their polls are honest and scientific, they are very desirable, because that is the only way you get to know public opinion. And let me tell you, Election Commission itself conducts opinion polls. In 22 states in the last 3 years, wherever we went to poll, we first organized knowledge, attitude, behavior and practice surveys to know what people think and what is it that they want. So, and if the fact that we ourselves commission, but they are meant for our own guidance, not for fooling anybody, not for cheating. We are questioning the integrity of it, not the science of it. If it is scientific, by all means. If it is honest, by all means.
No, but can all pollsters...
It is not one.
No, but can all pollsters be tarred by the same brush?
Not one or two, but...
No, but there is a question for Piyush Goyal. If there are a few pollsters, and yes, there's a substantial number, that charges against 11, what is required is for an immediate investigation, for a complete comprehensive analysis on who erred, to what extent, what action needs to be taken against him. But can all pollsters and polling itself be condemned as a consequence of the charges, Piyush Goyal?
Absolutely not. In fact, Mr. Qureshi has completely put himself into circles. Look at the situation. What you asked him about the IAS, I had asked in an earlier debate today the same question. He's saying we carry out surveys to get to know different aspects of about the electorate. That's exactly what political parties do. We are not interested in how many seats we are winning or losing. I do polls, but I do it to get the messaging right. I do polls to get the messaging medium right. How does it matter to me if I get 200 or 300? And by the way, all these polls that are being discussed have not been commissioned by any political party. They are all commissioned by media houses or media agencies. So I think what Mr. Qureshi is saying, he should just correct himself. It's not political parties engaging them. It is the media engaging them. And if at all he has any comments, he should direct it to the media. Having said that, what about paid news? There were instances of paid news when he was the election commissioner. What action was taken? Were the media houses hauled up? Were the politicians hauled up? How did they get away with it? So my submission to you, Rahul, is if there are people who have conducted illegal things, I hope the Election Commission and the investigative agencies take action on it. But just because 3 IAS officers were found corrupt, I have no right to say all IAS officers are corrupt. Maybe some politicians have indulged in corruption, I do not believe we can write off the political establishment. Like that, there have been judges of the Supreme Court, there have been people in media, there are allegations against media houses. How far are you going to take this argument to ban legitimate and credible possibilities? You can't ban the possibility.
No, I have another question for Mr. Qureshi. Mr. Qureshi, you are saying that, this could sway public opinion and public mood. Tomorrow, when say 5 lakh people turn up at a Narendra Modi rally in Patna or Bhopal or Varanasi or wherever he is doing this rally, and all channels cut to it, it comes in every single newspaper, you can say just the sheer number of people attending a Modi rally also could sway opinion. Therefore, channels must not show Modi's rally live. To what extent do we take this argument about opinion being swayed by what people see? To what extent do you think we need to trust voters to come to their own conclusion on the basis of their own reasoning as opposed to getting swayed by what they see? Mr. Qureshi.
Yes, Rahul, number one, I'm not very comfortable by making it a political issue. I don't want to name any party. I don't want to get into any debate in naming people. So that's not the point. We are discussing the science or the fiction of opinion polls. That is the issue. Please allow me to continue on that. And don't even bring in the IAS and all that. I think these are very silly arguments. Point is, it is not 1 or 2 or 3 rogue organizations. There were 11 of them, which means the rot is much deeper than we know. And we need to do something about it. If political parties think it is all right, then let it be all right, let it continue. If you are happy with this, let it continue. But we do feel that anything which interferes with free and fair election, any undue influence, and undue influence is the corrupt practice and an offence in IPC and in the Representation of People Act. We feel that any deceitful opinion poll to create a bandwagon effect is an undue influence on the voter, and it interferes with free and fair poll. And
question then to Shiv Vishwanathan. You are citing what is important cephalogically, a bandwagon effect. That if all these opinion polls and every single one of them at this time seems to indicate that Narendra Modi is winning and he's gaining traction, the Aam Aadmi Party especially alleges that this is just hogwash, that this is a conspiracy by Modi to pump up his numbers. It's not happening on the ground. There is no Modi wave. There's a wave only on TV. Now, there is something called a bandwagon effect. Do you think that applies in the case of these opinion polls, that if polls say that Modi is winning, more people start believing and therefore he may end up doing better than he actually would if these polls were not put out? Shiv Vishwanathan?
See, I think if you push this argument too far, you'll have to ban weather reports. Weather reports do influence people's behavior, but they're meant to, because to a certain extent the openness of information is crucial. I think poll surveys perform an equivalent but more limited function. They might influence people, but I think they do something more important. They activate the political. They create discussions. They allow for gossip. They allow for certain kinds of simulated debate. I think this democratic function is more important. If they are adulterated, question the adulteration. But for heaven's sakes, don't throw out a tool which is now a very crucial part of the democratic imagination.
I'm running on our screen graphics about the norms in other countries. In the United Kingdom, there is a body that actually audits polls done by various polling agencies. You've got similar rules in Canada, where there were rules crafted in 2000. In the United States, polling organizations are part of the National Council on Public Polls. All details of survey findings are issued for public release. And Headlines Today, in fact, has been at the forefront of encouraging this whole practice of transparency by putting out more and more details about assumptions, methodology, weightages, the manner in which the end numbers are arrived at. But there is a larger question, and I want to put that also before we end the first part of Center Stage tonight. I want to put that question first to Shiv Vishwanathan. The reality in India has been that opinion polling has been hit and miss. Because of the complexity of the Indian electoral equation, there have been several polls by even the top pollsters that have often got their results wrong. They might get their vote shares right, but the extrapolation into seats often ends up being wrong. Therefore, people say that opinion polls are not reliable and therefore they should be banned. Why put them out if you're not sure if they can be trusted? Why put them out if you're not sure that they will be true? Unlike a bipolar election in the United States where you can pretty much predict what's happening, in India, even the best pollster puts the numbers out and then has his fingers crossed. That's the reality. Shiv Vishwanathan first.
Hey, first, let's be clear. You're working within a domain of complexity. There are multiple causes. You're talking about a diversity of institutions. Within this kind of thing, to equate a pole to a pendulum is bad science. Two, I think it's important here to improve the sociology of the truth, to be more transparent. When you begin your poll survey, you state your method, you state your biases, you state your sampling, you state the limits. That transparency is a part of the scientific method. And that kind of transparency adds to democracy. You are not making 100% evaluations. You're stating a tool which is vulnerable, which is still being developed, which can be adulterated, and you're showing the possibilities of that. I think there's an excitement here that we must respect and understand. Banning it doesn't help you improve the tool.
Banning it is no solution. Piyush Goyal, what about the bandwagon effect? What about the possibility of people starting to believe that Modi is winning because you've got a whole cross-section of opinion polls all indicating the same thing? Therefore, there are people who believe that, people start believing that Modi is winning even if he's not, he gets more seats than he would otherwise. How do you respond to this charge?
Well, Rahul, this is very simple to respond to. There have been so many polls that have gone wrong. There have been so many occasions, including in 2009, when no poll had predicted that the Congress will get 206 and my party will be down to 116. But the fact remains, the public mood can be gauged by the results. Rajasthan gave BJP 163 out of 200 seats, unprecedented since independent India. The crowds that come in Northeast and Thiruvananthapuram, areas where BJP was earlier non-existent, are to be seen, to be believed. They are seen on your channel every day. Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, sweeping victories. Delhi, we were the single largest party. After all, the mood of the nation is there for all to see. You walk down the street, talk to your driver, talk to your maids, talk to people back home in your villages. The people are angry. The opinion polls help us to understand what the people's anger is, what the issues are. Is inflation hurting them? Are they unhappy about the massive corruption that UPA or any government indulged in? I think the fact that people's anger gets reflected is also important for politicians to know what they have to do when in power. It is a check on the politicians and bureaucrats about their actions. And the very fact that polls have gone wrong show that the Indian voter is wise. I trust the sagacity and the wise Indian voter to vote correctly. And I don't think we can castigate or cast aspersions on their intellect. They will vote wisely, they will vote the right way in their interest and in national interest.
Mr. Qureshi, before I conclude, what according to you is the way forward? What do you think needs to be done to find out what has gone wrong? If there's a rot that's been set in, the culprits must be found out, they must be punished, and exemplary punishment must be given to them, so that a message goes out that you cannot play around with the trust of the Indian voter. If you're putting out these numbers, the agencies that have been contracted to do so need to do an honest job, and nothing less is acceptable. What do you believe, Mr. Qureshi, is the way forward?
Inquiry or punishment, to my mind, is not the way forward. That should be done for sure. The way forward is that we should have an independent regulator who understands the science and technology of all this. Commission, for instance, is no expert. For all our technology things, we have a committee of experts of 5 IIT professors. Similarly, there can be a mechanism, an independent regulator who understands these things and who can verify, certify that this entire operation is honest and genuine. That's what we would like.
I think that's really the way to go. Banning is not a solution. There must be much more transparency. There can be oversight. There can be an independent auditor who actually goes in, looks at the raw data files, assesses whether or not the pollster is coming to genuine, authentic conclusions, or is he fudging his numbers. Greater transparency, greater oversight, that's the way to go. Because of a few rotten apples, you don't cut down the orchard. And anybody who suggests that you do is not suggesting the right thing. As Shiv Vishwanathan argues, it's an important tool. It cannot be thrown to the wayside. However, the questions that have been raised, those questions must be confronted. Answers must be found. There must be deep introspection, and solutions must be laid out. Thank you all very much, gentlemen, for joining me in the first part of Centre Stage tonight. We're slipping into a quick break. When we come back, my colleague Shiva Root has accessed the Naval Chief's residence.